Hello students, welcome to AIMS in online classes. This is a chemistry session. Here we are discussing about chemical bonding chapter. In this session we are going to see a practice sheet related to the chapter, that is practice sheet 2, which includes level 2 questions like multi-correct answer, comprehension paragraph. In this way different questions we are going to see from this practice sheet. Let us start it. First let us go through the multi-correct answer type questions. See the first one among those. Identify the correct statements from the following. See, certain statements are given here. Identify the correct from those. Triple bond contains one sigma bond. Is it correct? Of course, any multiple bond will be containing one sigma bond compulsory, and the remaining bonds in the multiple bond will be pi bonds. Suppose it is a triple bond. In that, one will be sigma bond, the remaining two will be pi bonds. Any multiple bond will be containing any multiple bond or single bond will be with a single sigma bond first. The remaining additional bonds will be pi bonds in any multiple bond. So now we can say a triple bond contains a sigma bond. It is true. Triple bond contains three sigma bonds. It is not possible. Okay, there will be a maximum one sigma bond between any two atoms. If it is a multiple bond, remaining bonds will be pi bonds. Next one, triple bond contains zero pi bonds. It is also wrong. Triple bond contains two pi bonds. It is true. So what will be correct answer now? One sigma bond and a two pi bonds are present in a triple bond. Okay, this is right. Next, which of the following are true? See here certain statements are given about ionic compounds. Identify the correct among those. Ionic compounds exist as solids. Yes, in general, ionic compounds are solids at normal temperatures. Ionic compounds have high melting points and high boiling points also. Yeah, it is also true. Because there, the ions are held together with the strong electrostatic forces of attraction. Thus, they will be having high melting and boiling points. Ionic compounds undergo chemical reactions quickly in aqueous solutions. Yes, ionic compound generally they won't undergo reactions in solid state. But when they are taking the aqueous solution or fused form, their reactions will be very quick. This is also true. So these three are the correct answers. Okay, next one. In which of the following molecules formation electron transfer occurs? So, in which kind of bonding transfer of electron occurs generally? That is ionic bond formation. Ionic bond is formed between a metal atom and a non-metal atom. So, when a metal and non-metal they combine, generally electron transfer occurs and hence an ionic bond is formed. Observe here in which compound metal non-metal combination is present. There generally there will be transfer of electrons. If you see first one, sodium chloride, sodium metal, chlorine non-metal. So here an electron is transferred from sodium to chlorine. So it is correct. If you see next one, magnesium and oxygen. Magnesium is a metal and oxygen is a non-metal. So from here magnesium to oxygen, two electrons will be transferred. Thus ionic bond is formed. So here also there is transfer of electrons. What about next one? Calcium sulfide. Here calcium is a metal, sulfur is a non-metal. Two electrons will be transferred from calcium to sulfur, hence results in the formation of an ionic bond. So it is also ionic bond where transfer of electrons is occurring. Here also potassium fluoride. Potassium is a metal, fluorine is a non-metal. So there will be transfer of electron from chlorine to fluorine. So here also there is transfer of electrons. So in these all cases, transfer of electrons is occurring and resulting in the formation of ionic compounds. All are correct answers. Next one, which of the following are correct? See the statements given. the bond formed between two non-metallic elements is covalent bond. Of course, it is correct because generally when two nonmetals they combine, they won't transfer electrons between them. Generally, they share electrons. So they form covalent bonds. Next one, the bond formed between two inert gas elements is van der Waals bond. Yes, this is also correct because inert gases they won't participate in the bond formation either by transfer of electrons or by sharing of electrons. So, but there exist slight attractive forces between the adjacent atoms or molecules. Those attractive forces existing between the adjacent molecules are called van der Waals forces. Only these forces are existing between the atoms of inert gases. So this is true. Next, the bond formed between a metal and a non-metal is electrovalent bond. Is it true? The bond formed between a metal and a non-metal. So generally metals they lose electrons, whereas non-metals they are ready to accept electrons. So when metal and non-metal they combine, transfer of electron occurs from metal to non-metal, and hence results in the formation of electrovalent bond or ionic bond. So this is also correct statement. Next one, the bond formed between two metallic elements is an ionic bond. See once again, the bond formed between two metallic elements. So between the metal atoms, the attractive power, the bond formed will be metallic bond, but not ionic bond. Ionic bond is formed between metal and non-metal, but not between metal atoms. So this is incorrect. So only these three are correct answers. Okay, next. Which of the following shows hydrogen bonding? What is meant by hydrogen bonding? The attractive force between the electropositive hydrogen atom and electronegative atoms like oxygen, fluorine, and nitrogen. Between these, certain attraction occurs. These attractions are called hydrogen bonding. The electropositive hydrogen atom of one molecule and the electronegative atom like fluorine, oxygen, and nitrogen of another molecule. Such attractions are called hydrogen bonding. So hydrogen bonding will be formed between hydrogen and more electronegative elements like oxygen, fluorine, and nitrogen. See, in these molecules, there are oxygen, fluorine, and nitrogen. These molecules they can show hydrogen bonding among the molecules of those compounds, but HCl cannot. Okay, next one. Identify the correct statements regarding coordinate covalent bond or dative bond. What about coordinate covalent bond? Bonded electrons are contributed by only one atom. Yes, actually, between the two atoms, they share a pair of electrons. But it is different from the covalent bond in that the pair of electrons are completely contributed by one of the two participating atoms. That is called dative bond. So this statement is true. Next one, donor atoms in dative bond are Lewis bases. Yes, this is also correct. In dative bond formation, the atom or ion or molecule which is donating a pair of electrons for sharing is called as Lewis base. For example, in the formation of ammonium ion, NH4 plus ion, in that ammonia donates a pair of electrons to H plus ion. So here this ammonia is called Lewis base. And the acceptor atom in dative bond formation is called Lewis acid. The atom or molecule or ion which is having a vacant orbital to accept the pair of electrons is called Lewis acid. So suppose if we take the formation of ammonium ion itself, in this H plus ion which is ready to accept a pair of electrons is called Lewis acid. This is also correct. Next, donor atoms are also called as ligands or ligands. This is also correct. All are correct statements about dative bond formation. Next, now let us say about comprehension passage type questions. First, let us go through the comprehension given. If more than one pair of electrons are shared between the two atoms in a molecule, it results in the formation of multiple bond. Yes, it actually definition of multiple bond. When two atoms share more than one pair of electrons between them, then they form a multiple bond like double bond or triple bond. If two atoms they share two pairs of electrons between them, then they form a double bond. If they say three pairs of electrons, then they form a triple bond. Okay, now let us see about the questions given on this. See the first among those. Which of the following statements is not correct? Double bond is shorter than a single bond. Is it correct? Yes, because as number of bonds increasing between two atoms, attractive power increases between those two atoms, hence they come close to each other and thus the bond distance decreases. So double bond is shorter than a single bond. So this is true because here two bonds will be there in between the two atoms. Next one, sigma bond is weaker than a pi bond. How a sigma bond is formed? When two atoms approach each other, the overlapping of atomic orbitals on their axis of nuclei results a sigma bond, and the overlapping of atomic orbitals sideways to the axis of nuclei results in the formation of pi bond. But the excess of extent of overlapping will be maximum in the formation of sigma bond. Thus, a sigma bond is stronger than a pi bond. But here they have given the reverse way, isn't it? Sigma bond is weaker than pi bond, it is given. It is incorrect. Okay, they're asking about incorrect statements only. This is not the answer. Okay. Next, let us see the remaining also. Triple bond is stronger than double bond. Yeah, it is correct because as number of bonds increasing, bond strength increases. At the same time, bond length decreases. Here, as number of bonds are more in triple bond, it will be stronger than a double bond. This is also correct. Now, pi bond is more reactive than sigma bond. Yes, as we told in the first point, second point here, sigma bond is stronger than pi bond. So as it is being more stronger, less reactive. But pi bond is less reactive, less stable, so more reactive. So this is also correct. Now they're asking to find out incorrect statement. Only the second one. Okay. Next. Which of the following is not characteristic of a covalent bond? See the characteristics given here about covalent bond. Identify the wrong one. It involves orbital overlapping. Yes, in a covalent bond formation, atomic orbitals overlap each other. Thus, they result in the formation of covalent bonds. It is true. Second one, it is formed by sharing of electrons. Is it true? Yes, covalent bonds are formed by the sharing of electrons between the atoms. It is also true statement. Next one, it is formed by transfer of electrons. Is this true? No, because covalent bond is formed by the sharing of electrons between the atoms, but not by transfer of electrons. What bond will be formed between the atoms if they transfer electrons mutually? Then they form electrovalent bond or ionic bond, but not covalent bond. It is incorrect. They are directional. Yes, it is also true because covalent bond is fixedly in between two atoms which are sharing a pair of electrons mutually. So there is fixed direction property for these covalent bonds. Only incorrect statement is this. It is not formed by the transfer of electrons. Covalent bond is formed by the sharing of electron pair between the atoms. Right? Next one. Which one of the following is an incorrect statement? See the statements given here. A pi bond is formed when a sigma bond is already exists. Is it true? Yes. First atoms when they approach each other, first they form a sigma bond. Then only they can form other bonds like multiple bonds like pi bonds. So a pi bond is formed when a sigma bond is already existing there. This is true. Next, a pi bond may be formed by the overlapping of p or d orbitals. Of course, this is also true. S orbitals they cannot form. See the next statement. A pi bond is formed by the overlapping of s orbitals. This is incorrect because s orbitals they can overlap only on the axis of their nuclei. Thus, they results only in the formation of a sigma bond. But these they cannot overlap sideways and hence they cannot form pi bond. Last statement, a pi bond is formed by the lateral overlapping of atomic orbitals. Yes, sideways or lateral overlapping of atomic orbitals results in the formation of a pi bond. This is also correct statement. Only incorrect statement is s orbitals involving in the pi bond formation. A pi bond cannot be formed by s orbitals. Next, another comprehension passage. The number of electron pairs shared between two atoms of the same element or different elements during the formation of molecule is known as their covalency. Now let us see the questions on this. In which of the following have more number of shared electrons with respect to two carbon atoms? Say in the benzene molecule, between two atoms, maximum there are double bonds. We know in the benzene molecule, alternative double bonds are there between the carbon atoms. Hence, maximum two pairs of electrons are between two carbon atoms. And acetylene molecule or ethane molecule. In that, between two carbon atoms, maximum three pairs of electrons are shared because acetylene molecular formula is C2H2. So there, between two carbon atoms, they are sharing three pairs of electrons. In ethane molecule, between two carbon atoms, two pairs of electrons. This is ethane. Sorry, it is containing single pair of electrons sharing between the two carbon atoms. In a ethylene or ethene, here two pairs of electrons are shared. So maximum three pairs of electrons are shared in case of acetylene molecule. This is correct. Okay. Next. The covalency of silicon in silicon carbide. In silicon carbide, CIS, silicon shares four pairs of electrons. So the covalency of silicon in silicon carbide is 4 because silicon shares four pairs of electrons in the silicon carbide. So the number of electron pairs shared by an atom in the covalent bond formation is called its covalency. So silicon covalency is 4. Next, which is a covalent compound? Say certain molecules are mentioned here. Identify the covalent compound among them. Generally, the compound formed between the metal and non-metal will be ionic in nature. If a compound is formed with only non-metals, then it can be considered as covalent compound. If you see the first one, rubidium fluoride. So here, rubidium is a metal, fluorine is a non-metal. So between these two, there is a transfer of electrons and hence results in the formation of ionic bond. Here also, magnesium chloride is also an ionic compound because magnesium is a metal, chlorine is a non-metal. Here also transfer of electrons occurs from magnesium to chlorine and thus it forms a ionic compound. Here also the same reason we can say calcium carbide. Calcium is a metal, carbon is a non-metal. So we can say as it is a ionic compound. If you see ammonia, in case of ammonia, both are non-metals. So they can form only covalent bonds because transfer of electrons cannot be done between the non-metal atoms. So just they share electrons and hence the results in the formation of covalent bonds. This is a covalent compound. Ammonia is a covalent compound. Okay. Next, one more passage. There are three important bond parameters to characterize the chemical bond. What are those? Bond energy, bond length, and bond angle. Now let us see questions on this. Which has the strongest CC bond length? Shortest CC bond length. So how can you say? Based upon the number of bonds existing between the carbon atoms, we can say the bond length comparison. As number of bonds increasing between carbons, bond strength increases, bond length decreases. See, in it is called ethyl alcohol. Here, between the carbon atoms, there exists only single bond. If we see next one, it is called C2H6, ethane. In this also, between the carbon atoms, there exists only single bond. If you see the third one, it is called acetylene or ethine. Here, between the carbon atoms, there exists a triple bond. Both the carbon atoms connected by triple bond. And last one, ethene or ethylene. Here, between carbon atoms, there exists two bonds. That we say double bond. So now, if we compare these all, as the number of bonds increasing between the two carbon atoms, bond strength increases and bond length decreases. Now they're asking the molecule with the shortest carbon-carbon bond length. What will be that? The molecule with the triple bond between carbon atoms. That is acetylene. C2H2 is correct answer. Okay. Next one. The bond angle in water molecule is nearly. Yes, what is the bond angle in water molecule? It is 104 degrees 30 minutes or 104.5 minutes. 104 degrees 30 minutes. Next, what is the bond angle in H2S? Hydrogen sulfide. In this also bond angle will be somewhat less, that is 92.2 degrees. Okay. Next, now let us see matrix matching type questions. See, certain molecules are mentioned in the column 1 and the type of bonds existing in these molecules are mentioned in column 2. Try to match this. See the first one, F2. What kind of bond exists in the F2 molecule? It contains covalent bond because both are non-metallic atoms. They share pair of electrons between them, hence results in the formation of covalent bond. And what kind of covalent bond it is? As both are of the same element atoms, they share the electron pair mutually equally, and hence they result in the formation of non-polar covalent bond, isn't it? Because electronegativity of both the atoms is equal. So hence electron pair will be shared equally between the atoms. So the resultant covalent bond will be non-polar covalent bond. Next, if you say ozone, this O3 is called ozone. So in the ozone, what kind of bonds are existing? In ozone molecule, there are covalent bonds as well as coordinate covalent bonds also. So there existing coordinative bond and even coordinate covalent bond also. Okay. And these are also non-polar covalent bonds because all are of the same kind of elements. Electronegativity between the atoms will be zero. So they share the electron pair mutually and equally. Hence the bond is said to be non-polar in nature. Next, ammonia. NH3 contains covalent bonds because both are of non-metallic elements. Now we can say it contains covalent bonds. And here if we observe nitrogen and hydrogen, both elements are having different electronegativities. Nitrogen has more electronegativity. Hence, the covalent bond formed between nitrogen and hydrogen will be polar covalent bond. Okay? And ammonia also can exhibit hydrogen bonding also. See here we are getting multiple options. We have to do very carefully. Ammonia can show exhibit hydrogen bonding also. And next one, water. In water molecule between the oxygen and hydrogen, there existing polar covalent bonds. It is a covalent bond, and oxygen and hydrogen have different electronegativities, hence it will be polar covalent bond, covalent and polar in nature. And even water molecules also can exhibit hydrogen bonding also. Okay, this is the matching. Observe once carefully. So many multiple options we are getting. So all the possible options we have to select and we have to answer them. Okay, that's why it is called matrix matching type questions. Right? This is about level 2 practice sheet based upon the chemical bonding. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel AIMS Today for latest updates on recorded videos. And also please visit our website aimstoday.in for other information.